Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dice Dropping Chicago by Night Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. My name is Serena Montgomery, and I am your humble storyteller for this wonderful chronicle. And I'm just going to pass the mic along to my players so they can introduce themselves, and we're going to jump right back into our story. So, take it away.
I'm Tony Prokop, and I play the Ventrue Donovan Shaw.
Hello, I am Erin Hestwick. I play Seraphina Abbott, the Toreador. Erin. I think you're muted.
I was getting into it. Sorry. As I was going to say,
Mhm.
thank you, Erin. I am also Erin, and I am playing Clyde, the Nosferatu.
I am Jesse Buzzard, and I am playing Marcus Wraith, the Lasombra.
Mhm. So, with a little bit of a recap for those who are returning or just coming in for the first time, we had a little bit of just an easy night for the coterie, them separating into their own accords because, yes, while they're a coterie, they all still have their own machinations to go through in the city and their own deals to make. There are suspicions going around in Chicago, and more mysteries abound, with a corpse at the center of a strange ritual that tore through the other side that seemed to call to Wraith in the investigations in a cemetery. There is also on Seraphima's end in the ever rotating battles around the Toreador Rose Garden that now involve the acquisition of Erzuli's prize car, which, I mean, that's fine. Nothing bad's going to come out of that. It's
That
just,
in an art
putting,
show.
yeah, having an art show that was very generously proposed by her bloodkin, her sister Lynette. And Clyde also met up with the Nosferatu, gaining a very juicy boon from the primogen of the Bruja clan in Chicago. All under the premise of finding a kindred who was plucked up off the street by a gang of definitely ex-military officers and a familiar figure in a mirrored-eyed mask. So, many things happening in Chicago with our coterie. So let's jump right back into our story. It is a new night in Chicago, and our kindred are waking up into the evening. All expended points of willpower are healed up by your composure or your resolve, whichever is higher, and all superficial damage to your health is healed overnight. If you have still any aggravated wounds, you must make 3 additional rouse checks on top of the one that you all now need to make to wake up in the morning.
You would like collective rouse checks then?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and go last since I need to do 4.
Wait, I'm not hungry?
What?
Whoa.
What? I always fail rouse checks. Wait, hold on. Blush of life.
That is true.
Ah,
Anyone?
yes.
No. What's going
Oh.
on?
Great job, Sarah. Ooh.
Yes. Blush of Life, for those who are not aware, is the tool that all vampires can have if they want to appear human, or at least within proximity to other humans. Otherwise, you look like the corpse that you are.
All right, here we go. 5 rouse checks. What the heck's going on?
Here we go. Number 1.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Number 2,
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
dot of hunger. Number 3, dot of hunger.
2 fails.
Do you want to take a minute and feed?
I can't. This
He
is to heal
can't.
the.
This is one
This is
go.
how
After I
he
started
wakes
that
up,
third
so if
one.
he wants to
Yeah.
heal.
No, I
Yeah.
thought
First
that
one was to
that was
wake up.
3. 1, 2, 3.
First
That's
one
two.
to wake up.
And,
Oh,
and
okay.
the first one to wake up, and then
He's
3
gotta
more.
heal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Okay, so before I do my blush of life,
Yeah.
Maybe maybe
Would you
feed.
like to feed? Yeah.
Maybe
maybe.
top off a bit.
Especially since I'm at hunger 4.
Mm,
Yeah.
understood. All right.
I'll
So,
take one from like 3 different people, so as
okay.
not to drain
To
the
not kill
herd too
someone, yeah.
quickly.
Yeah. I am at hunger 4 to safely feed from a human. I am going to need you to roll a uh a willpower roll. I
Composure,
won't make
resolve.
yeah, composure and resolve or so
Hold
I
for
it's
one
actually no,
for a
it's not
while.
composure and resolve. It is willpower in this instance because if you fail this roll, you can't spend willpower to re-roll willpower. This is to resist going into a hunger going into an overindulgence in feeding.
Okay, so quick question:
Yeah.
does it matter what my max willpower is or my current willpower?
It would be your current willpower, but superficial willpower is healed up by your resolve or your composure,
Yes,
whichever is higher over
I
now.
already did that.
Okay.
I'm sitting at a pretty 2.
Mm-hmm.
You have aggravated willpower damage?
No,
Okay.
I had no willpower left at the end of last session.
Okay.
My
And he
resolve and
only has.
composure are both 2.
It both
My max
two.
willpower is 4, so therefore I only
Okay.
heal 2.
Yep.
Mhm.
Understood. So
And I
it
hope
is.
this is the correct roll.
Mhm.
Oh, there we go. We could type in the number. Yay! Okay.
Okay. So when you bite into your first victim, there's no roll needed for hunting because the Ares Club has an abundance of blood that circulates.
Mhm.
This is now where I'm going to have you roll a hunger frenzy. So at the bottom of your character sheet, there is a frenzy button.
Yep.
And you put in your current willpower, and then it'll ask you your max humanity. So you insert that in, and the difficulty is 2.
Modifiers, no?
No modifiers. Okay. So
Hmm.
you pull back from draining this human, but you do satisfy 3 hunger from them. They are going to need immediate medical attention. But again, the facilities of the Ares Club is abundant in its resources. So you can lower your hunger by 3 as you pull back in enough time before that last heartbeat goes through, fades.
I'll walk over to the intercom on the wall and just start pounding it.
Mhm.
Pounding the button.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
In a short time while, there are 2 old women wearing the nursing uniform, or not nursing.
These ladies again.
Yeah, wearing the maids' uniforms. One of them is smoking a very large cigar. Immediately, instead of the laundry basket, they have a gurney. They pick up the employee, strap them down, and say nothing to you as they leave.
He freaked me out.
They
I
are
love them
identical
so much.
twins, these 2 women.
They freak us all out, man. They're good at their job.
Not me. I hired him. I love him. They're sweethearts, really.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't talk to them.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll do my final rouse to do,
Yep.
my blush of life. And I get hungrier, of course.
Such is the balance of being an immortal monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As the aftermath of that is dealt with, Wraith. Donovan, we come to you in your office. But one point of note, so any failures, of course, increase your hunger, but for those who succeeded, you don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. I definitely would like to feed.
Yes,
As
of
well.
course.
I'm not quite at 4 hunger, but I, don't
Yeah.
want hunger clouding my brain for
Absolutely.
business.
Anyone who wishes to feed
For
you
capitalism, damn it.
have, the Ares
Mhm.
Club, everyone who bought coterie points, for those watching, the Ares Club has 4 dots in herd, 5 Dotson herd, so they have just
We maxed it out.
Mhm.
blood is flowing in
Donovan
this
and
club.
Seraphima are like, we want every possibility.
Mhm.
Mhm. So blood is never an issue when they are at their collective haven. So everyone can feed to their content. And so Donovan,
Mm.
you have a number of things on, well, not a number of things, but one thing of note of interest on your plate
Mhm.
that was given to you by Thea.
Yeah.
That a certain out of odds Ventru has requested a meeting with you. So how are you going to how are you going to deal with that situation?
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna absolutely you know what's it called? I'm gonna take that meeting.
Okay.
But obviously not here. I ugh. If he's reaching out trying to get a meeting with me, he's talking to certain people, obviously. I think I'm going to drop the line that I'm willing to meet with him, not at my place, of course. I think probably like Navy Pier, where
Okay.
the boardwalk where you get the Ferris wheels and the the cheaper boardwalk.
Yeah.
I think I'm willing. I'm Walt. Yeah, Yes, Walter
Walter
Nash. Nash. Yeah, I'm willing. I'm just more just intrigued what the
Mhm.
hell he could possibly want from me.
Mhm.
So I'm absolutely taking that meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm like essentially yeah, willing to meet at Naving Pier like by the hot dog
Mhm.
you know truck.
Mhm. Excellent. There is also the event, and this is probably when the others will come to your office. The event of the I believe it was the young people's night that you were having. You were getting baby chorus to perform at the club and inviting your what would you, we know them as your touchstone, but
Ward,
ward I think it would be.
sponsee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not Natalie White and her collection of friends will be
Mhm.
gathering, and I'm going to say for story reasons that'll be happening like the next night.
Cool.
Uh, yes.
Yeah, I mean we already talked to Baby Chorus, and
Mhm.
they apparently like the cut of my jib.
Mhm.
So turns out if you're just like incredibly straightforward with people, they like that. It's
Strangely
crazy.
enough. Yeah. So I will turn this over to you and the coterie for anything else you'd like to catch up and or
Oh,
talk about and execute for tonight. Because this is the last like free night you all have before we transition to the next night with Baby Chorus and your uh gathered guests.
Hmm.
Mhm.
uh, yeah. So I guess opening up to the coterie, old business, new business,
Mhm.
anything to report. Nothing.
Well,
Nothing?
for us to you, yeah, I've got something.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes. Sorry. Clyde like looks up from. Oh shit! Yeah.
Were you,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
thinking I was asking a question to myself
I-
out loud?
Yeah. I feel like you do that. All right.
He does have a point.
Yeah. Not all the time.
Alright.
Anyway. By the way, Seraphima, car is taken care of. For I know since we're having young people's night, as you were calling it,
I mean,
I
we're not going to call it that. I'm sure we're calling it something much better.
you keep saying
Seraphima, what
that
are
to
we
us
calling
us
it?
though, so
What are we calling it?
Yeah, what are we calling it?
what's our brand
That's more your
what's our
department.
brand
Branding.
name for
Branding
it?
is my
Yeah.
department. Okay.
He gestures to the entire club. I feel like I can safely say that.
I had a thought, but I'll let Clyde continue with the idea. I
Sure.
think having the
Okay.
brand is
Yeah.
a little
Right.
Yes,
secondary.
Clyde.
If we're kind of being open to newer ideas for the club, I
Mhm.
recently went to go talk to some of the Nosferatu.
Sure.
Got up on a lot, and well, we kind of have like a weekly poker night there,
Mhm.
and had the idea because a lot of other people, non Nosferatu, know about it and are interested up until the fact that they hear that it's in the sewer. Um, and talk to some of the main guys that run it down there, and they know about the club. They know that kind of open to a lot of newer ideas and newer venue. It's a better venue from them there. So I was wondering if you would be open to say like once a month, maybe if we not even the full club, but like rent out, get a room. If you could put a room aside for myself and a few others to host a poker night here. And with that,
So,
they would
okay.
invite some other more. We could invite some of our own higher clientele, and
Mhm.
deal mostly in boons, and not. I would
That's fine.
supervise and everything. Yeah.
Uh so did we get some so from what I'm hearing, Clyde, from your trepidatious tone, is that you have essentially promised this already? Did you get something good for it?
I didn't promise this already. I just like the idea and want it to happen here.
Okay. What
With it.
exactly do we get out of this?
Are you
Um.
saying we have access to the secrets they find out with our clientele here?
mm,
I
I
mean,
will.
here's
Yeah.
the thing.
But,
I've never been against having Nosferatu clientele. We have a back entrance for a reason. However, I mean, did we are we getting something for this idea? Did you already get something for this? I mean, the promise of more business isn't entirely interesting to me,
right. No. No. The
as
idea
I
is
have plenty. But well, okay, sorry. There's more. All right, yeah, please.
yeah. Right, Seraphim is kind of on the right track. There's a
Okay.
lot of talk at the table for just sort of secrets out in the open, and there's also
Hmm.
major boons are the big deal. Obviously, those would go to the original winner, but minor boons anyone would put up for offer, um, we would
Hmm.
get, or anyone
Are
who
you
wanted to sit
saying
at the
that we
table.
could, at this poker table, we could collect a house
Yes.
pot? Okay, with boons. Okay, well that's a great lead. Um, hmm. Once a month.
About yeah.
Okay, once a month. Once a month.
Donovan,
Hmm.
imagine if you let me play.
I don't know if they'd be very comfortable with that. But just kind of nodding. I think we can manage that. Uh, However, of course, there will be like a door charge. Um, and new players need to be vetted heavily, please.
Of course, yeah. I will
Um,
be sure.
but and as long as we get to take a house take on the boons, I'm very happy with that. Besides what other information is collected through, but we can easily make a very comfortable space for them. Also, of course, uh, they would be given the same rights as any other client within the wall. So if they want access to, you know, perhaps some sanguine blood, which I doubt they rarely get, know that that's very much on the table for them if you need more incentive. Also, you know, like all clients, they aren't special. They are meant to need to behave.
Oh yeah, everyone's aware. I kind of
Awesome.
Kind of went over the idea there, but yeah, okay. Thanks. Cool.
All right. Well, then, poker night it is. But also, question though. I mean, how public is this game? You're not. This isn't going to be spreading rumors everywhere of this, right? Keep this on the down low a bit.
I'll make sure to tell them that. And just kind of smiles. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because we seriously, Clyde, that needs
Nope.
to not be public information.
No, I'm fully aware of that.
Because we could lose some of our more discretionary clientele that might be more. Well, it's best that everyone doesn't know how the hot dogs are made. Like, all right.
Okay. Yep. Nope. Yep. Good. Cool.
Good.
Yep.
Other things, the library is coming along nicely. There was one specialty item that one of my contacts might be able to acquire for us, but it requires a bit of an exchange.
Remind me, library?
Yes. We seem to have a bit of a disinterest in accessing the chantry. So I thought it would be better for us to have our own resources so then we don't need to deal with them if we don't want to.
Less I have to talk to a warlock, the better.
Yes. So there was an item one of my contacts, for lack of a better word, would be able to get for us, but we would have to acquire an item in exchange, which means we might have to acquire it from the best way I could describe it, a gangrel autarch.
An autarch?
Essentially, it's a gangrel that's been out of the game.
I know what an
Yeah.
autarch is. What is this item?
I believe, and Storyteller, please feel free to correct me,
Mhm.
it is a dagger?
A dagger. Okay. What do we know about this autarch? Can we just purchase it from
No.
them? No.
No. From what I understand, they are going to be holding a function in the near future, which...
An autarch gangrel is
Yes.
holding a function?
Yes, who I believe is an academic. And I believe part of this function is showing their collection.
A function, not
Yes.
a hootenanny.
No. Not a hullabaloo, even.
My.
But yes. So.
And this is a scholarly function with kind?
Yes.
A gangrel,
I believe.
autarch,
Well, hold on.
and
Correction. Is it kind or
will correct
kindred?
It is kindred.
Kindred.
Oh, okay. What kindred is going to meet with this autarch in
I'm trying to remember their name. Trying to remember their name.
Professor Bellamy is the gangrel who is the host, but you do not have the guest list. Of who all is.
So I share that it is one Professor Bellamy.
Okay. Does that ring any form of bell to me?
Yeah, you can make an intelligence insight. I think that was what we established for memory searching.
Would status or anything?
Status would give you your Dotson status would give you the extra dice.
Okay.
Also, don't forget you could take half if you really want half.
Thank you for always reminding me, because I forget.
Okay, then I will take half, which would be 3 successes.
3 successes, yes, of course. So Professor Bellamy, as far as you can remember, Donovan, was never a gangrel that... He never developed his disciplines or his personality to the more animalistic that the current Primogen does. He was very much someone who pursued the academic pursuits of kindred. He worked very well in hand with the Tremere and the Malkavians, trying to better understand the physiology and psychology. I know words of kindred and the process of which they go through when ever they experience heightened emotions, and see how similar that is to their human connection to what they are now. I think with 3 successes, you do remember one of his prevailing theories was an alternative to the mythical study of Golconda. He was trying to
Oh.
find other solutions than the mystical spiritual side to it. But very much
Alright.
his pursuits weren't of interest to those of higher ups within the Camarilla. So, and then he got to a point where he could no longer access his human resources to fund this research. Thus, he started falling into obscurity. The novelty of him wore off, and
Right.
he stopped going out to social functions and thus became much more of a recluse.
Yeah, I guess Donovan would be like, I thought he left the city.
Mhm.
I didn't know he was still around.
If you dug around between you and Seraphima, you could probably find some people who are still in contact with him. But
Alright.
his yeah.
So yeah, I do recall actually, Professor Bellamy. So what's the play here? We need to steal this dagger from Professor Bellamy?
Well, I would love to find an alternative way, but from what I understand, we'll not part with it for monetary reasons.
Right. Understood.
He was
Um
an avid collector of relics and did not
Hmm.
relinquish them.
All right. Relics, huh? Well, I do actually maybe know someone who probably has several collections of relics, who also maybe doesn't have a lot of attachment to them. I could think, but what can I just ask? What is this item that we need? That, not the dagger, the thing we're
Storyteller.
trading the dagger for. What is
That
this?
super was not detailed to us last time.
Yeah, so the book in question
It's a book. Okay.
that you were
Books are
looking
nice.
for. Yeah, that you were looking for is in regards to uh certain blood rituals that were not prescribed to, say, the Tremere clan. They were more selective in nature and could possibly have ties to oblivion rituals.
I see.
To deal with some of the spooky, crazy shit that seems to be going on in our city.
That would be nice to know. Okay, very well. We don't know anything about this dagger, though. It's just a dagger that is a relic and important to this man.
As far as you probably don't know off the top of your head. Once you saw it, you'd know more about it.
Yeah, it's like I was probably given like a description of it, but
Mm-hmm.
and I would provide that to Donovan, so then
Yeah.
he would know it on site if he were with me.
Very well. Professor Bellamy doesn't strike me as a bargaining man or a huckster, so I don't think it would be untoward to if you wish to discuss with the professor at this function your interest in the dagger and your willingness to trade artifacts with him. I don't think it would be a danger to reveal your true intention to him. From the vibe from the what I remember of the man, he was a fairly I don't know if straightforward was the correct term, but definitely I mean, he was
Blunt?
a pure academic, scholarly, yeah. Possibly, but you know, I doubt he plays. I think he tired of the game, which is which was necessary for his research. So I think he, I guess, does this now. We should ask around for our contacts, maybe see who's on the guest list. It might give us a better idea of what's going on, and we can make a better plan. But if you
Well-
wish to just simply negotiate, I don't necessarily desire for us to become
I'd much prefer not
thieves.
to be a thief.
Yeah, I much rather negotiate with the man. In how willing and ready he is. And it's fine if we let us we just see what or they perhaps see what kind of things he wants. I mean, if he's interested in vampire, he's interested in kindred psychology, history, and patterns of our behavior. Yeah, and like what's that in
Mhm.
blood? Right, that was the
That's
thing.
correct. That is
Mhm.
correct.
Okay, if that's what he's interested in, I mean, I'm sure there are things we have and know that would interest him. I have a contact. Let me talk to them. But in the meantime, if we want to find out who goes to this function, if you wish to attend, I don't see anything wrong with just discussing the matter with the man directly, and I'm sure we could have things that he might be interested in trading the dagger for. Um, what say you, Seraphima?
I definitely would much prefer that approach as opposed to
Yeah.
trying to steal it.
Yeah.
Um,
And if it comes to that, then and I think, and if he's being unreasonable, even all the things we offer, then we will just take it, and there will be and the recompense for it will just be not much, as the man is an autark and has very little protection. But I also would rather not go to that. I'm
no.
sure his friends will be angry and try to do something.
And
But
then there's something else, and I'm completely blanking on it, but I'm sure I'll think. But it, for some reason, made me think of your minister mouse. I'll think of it.
I think very well. I think so. We have that covered. Anything else?
Wraith, anything from you?
You're muted, Jesse.
Yes, our the one we escorted, Sierra, came
Sierra
to me.
Burris, yes.
Yes, she came to me.
Oh.
She wants me to take a female who has just been taken by the sheriff. Apparently, she was found draining cats in a park.
Mm.
It is said to be. Her name is said to be Miss Winters. Apparently, she is the ghoul of the Sombra, well, the Emperor of Washington D.C.
Ah, yes, the tell.
And she was changed into a vampire. She was turned
But we don't know what
in Chicago.
in Chicago.
Yes.
I wasn't aware Marcus Vattel had any. So we're. Oh, I see. Ah,
Mhm.
So this woman is currently in the custody of
The sheriff.
our sheriff.
I believe that's what she said. Yes.
Well, this is a troubling situation indeed. Well, I guess the main question I have to say,
She would give me a boon.
well, that would be good. A hefty one, I imagine.
I would accept no less.
Good. I like Sierra, and furthering La Sombra goals within this city aids our coterie, I believe. Now, my main question to you, Wraith, would be: how do you feel about it? Do you want to do it?
On one hand, yes. On the other hand, I I'm already on thin ice with the hounds.
I would
I
say
am not an
so.
official member of the Camp Maria yet, or even of the city yet.
It's very true, and this could be dangerous.
Yes.
I too would suffer consequences for this, as I have taken responsibility for you in front of the prince.
Yes, and this is why I bring it to your attention.
It is a risk. However, I do have a feeling that whatever the answer to this is fascinating, and I do want to know. And tomorrow night, we do know where the sheriff will be
Hmm.
on stage playing guitar.
Which would be the perfect time.
Would be the perfect opportunity for perhaps one or two clandestinely aligned individuals to go and remove this young woman.
Fist
Uh,
bump Wraith for the credit.
yeah. 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 Here's the thing. The thing I will say to you is don't get caught. Don't get caught. And do not final death any kindred.
I will need plenty of stakes.
Stakes, perhaps. Not getting caught in the first place might be the
Yes.
best, but I think you have plenty. I think we all have. I think we have plenty. Um. But yes, just don't get caught, and even if you do, final death no one. Uh, if you do those things, I can work with it if something goes wrong. If you final death anyone, I can't help you. That is a fairly intense law that in self-defense can be well negotiated, but it's hardly self-defense when you're committing a crime.
This is true.
um so these are the two things I would suggest to you. How regardless, but beyond that, if it's something that you feel would be worthwhile to you and your situation here, then I think you are your own kindred and still may do as you wish, as you are not still currently bound by the laws of the Camarilla. Picking up on what I'm putting down here.
Hmm.
Excellent. Besides knowing who turned her and finding out any other details about this entire situation could be incredibly beneficial to us.
And Sierra did not give me a time restraint.
That's good. Nor should she expect one. But this would be, I think, quite beneficial to us in many ways.
And I will add in addition,
Yes. Yes.
Donovan, you have enough status to know that even with the laws of the Camarilla, Prince Kevin Jackson isn't going to final death the favorite ghoul of Marcus Vattel in time.
Right, no, 100%.
So-
Yeah. I assumed that he wasn't
Mhm.
insane.
Mhm.
Uh,
It's a delicate dance.
yeah,
Of course.
listen, fucking Marcus Vitel's like original name is literally like Marcus Aurelius von Syria. Like he's fucking ancient.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so I assumed that. I doubt that she's in any danger of being final death. However, Sierra wants her out of there for a reason. And we'll find out what that reason is. Yeah, I think this will go well, but again, clandestinely inclined individuals must be utmost caution, and while he's distracted would be probably the best time to do it. Be
My next
clever.
question is to everyone.
Okay.
is there anyone that would be willing to help me?
Yeah, dude, that was what the fist bump was for.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Assumed it would just be us. Yeah. You guys need to stay here to actually run the club, and
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess it'll be a good test, put Marlo in charge for a day. Oh god, I hate thinking about that. It's great. Okay.
Just tell her Seraphima will have a chat with her if she screws up.
That'll work, actually. Yeah, you or Seraphima.
This is true.
Why am I a threat? I don't think I've actually done
She's
anything
afraid
to
of you
her.
for
Not
some
not
reason.
to us. She just doesn't. It's. I think it's a Nos thing, actually. But yeah, Wraith makes sense. Yeah. But everyone else.
She's afraid of you for some reason that I can't even figure out.
We were not Wraith. We're not
Fascinating.
bringing her here. It's straight to Sierra, right?
I will.
Absolutely
Wraith-
do not bring her here.
Right. I was like, we're not bringing her here.
I would like her
Yeah.
nowhere. I would like her within nowhere near a 5-block radius of of this.
Yes, to clarify, Sierra said to bring her to her. Let me pull up the. Sorry, 1 second. I need to look up the name of the franchise.
Is it the Diamond Yama?
Franchise.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, the Diamond Yama is where you're to bring Miss Winters.
Hotel chain.
Hmm.
Okay. All right.
Very expensive. Yeah. All right. So, with a two-pronged plan in process and many other things to discuss, is there anything else the coterie wishes to do before we forward the timeline to the next event?
Yeah, no,
I'd
just
like to do some personal investigation into possibly who might have turned her. If
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess we'd like. I could help out with that. Could we do some research on this person that we're finding?
On Miss Winters, or who's likely to have been able to turn her?
who's likely to have been able to turn her? Because we've got the information on Winters.
Yeah.
The other thing
So-
is,
we
why
don't have
was she in
clans,
Chicago?
so
Yeah,
Well, if I know who-
you
Yeah.
you don't have clans in or anything, so I'm going to say that's going to be incredibly difficult to do until you have Miss Winters, because then you can taste her blood, do those kinds of experiments,
This is
but
true.
without any other kind of context, it's nigh impossible to discover what clan or who her sire could be. There are once you have her though, there are many avenues of which that you can take, including, which is something that you all have access to with Donovan's status, you can request a blood reading from a warlock to see exactly who her sire is. But that would, of course, open investigation to yourselves,
And we need to find her first.
then a Tremere would know that you have this blood for some reason. So benefits and consequences to every choice. But without her blood and without her, there's no way to tell who could have told her.
If we meet her, she also might just know she's been around
Might
other
just
kindred
know.
for a while. She might be familiar with
This is true.
the clans are. Can we do research on, with both our combined Camarilla experience, where the hounds might have put her? Like, do they have like a holding cell in somewhere? In Elysium or somewhere. Hopefully
I
not.
would like to know the layout of where she is.
Yeah, can we research, uncover that?
Like the holding cells
Yeah.
of the hounds?
Let's see. I'm going to say that with okay. So this is going to be a intelligence streetwise or intelligence investigation, and it's going to be an incredibly high difficulty, because sheriffs don't, like, hounds don't usually talk about where they keep people. So it is going to be a 7 difficulty.
Okay.
Am I able to help him in any way?
Yes. I am going to say that either you both can make individual rolls, or you can give one person an additional. In this situation, because of your collective experiences, the person I'm gonna raise from the normal +1 dice to a +2. Um, so
I will give that to you.
Are you
But,
sure? You're also. It's not a
I
technology
mean,
roll, so if
I
it's
know it's not a
intelligence.
technology, but at most I would have 5 dice no matter which way I went,
Okay.
without
alright,
the
yeah.
+2.
All right, let's get ready. If this doesn't work, I could also try to reach out to Squiddy. That would definitely cost us a lot, and also start raising suspicion. So,
Squiddy is a hound. So
I would prefer not to go that route. So let's see if we can just take the
Mhm.
long route, try to find out this information. So it's
Mhm.
intelligence, investigation, or streetwise.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then
That is
did you
correct.
want
Okay.
to do any
Does this
willpower
count? Yes.
rouse?
Does this count for tracking? If I'm tracking oh, it's not technology. Never mind. Sorry, I have nothing
Not
specialized for.
technology.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'd like to rouse for this one.
Of
My
course.
intelligence.
Because in this
Okay.
game, you can make yourself smarter, and I love it.
And if it's a DC
Bring
7,
more blood!
let me see if I actually
Bring
have
more
enough to
blood!
just take half with that. If
Mhm.
Wraith gives me the +2, so that would be.
Mhm.
+4 total.
And then any merits that might be able to help?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, so I would have 11 dice rolling right now. If it's still not enough, but yeah. Okay, yeah. I guess I'll just roll it for this one.
Did you do a rouse for your brain surge?
I do have to do rouse, right?
Yep.
You.
So,
Cool. Nailed it.
Nice.
Okay. And I also might have willpower to reroll. Let's see. Come on.
Mhm.
That's 3. Okay. I could crit on this reroll, so
Good
Mhm.
grip.
I'll try it.
Yeah,
No, sorry,
unfortunately.
guys.
So this avenue is exhausted with you and Clyde. With you and Wraith using through your resources. You trying to go through old files that you have already saved on your hard drive, Clyde. So this avenue is closed off to you, but between tonight and the next night, you should be able to find at least a headway point.
Okay.
Because there's just it's unfortunate that with the hounds being under the prince and Prince Kevin Jackson having a multitude of resources, it's hard to pinpoint a single location that they could
Yeah.
possibly be
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Sorry,
Mhm.
guys.
No problem. So, with that, after that attempt, is there anything else anyone wants to do or make claim to before we proceed?
I would probably want to share with Donovan that apparently Moira and my sister are conniving something of what I don't know.
Oof. Well, we should find out. That could be very dangerous. Um, Moira is very good at what she does. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I will like. We should endeavor to find out what exactly Moira is up to, especially if it's with your sister.
At least it seems like they're not friendly because Moira basically tried to put my sister back in her place of being a new entry into the city.
It's
So,
true. Listen, Moira has been somewhat rival of mine for a while for a reason. She knows what she's doing. Yes, no, we should definitely attempt to find out what she is up to.
Then I think part of what I was thinking before when I'd mentioned your ministry mouse dealt with some of the attributes we had found regarding I don't know if Wraith really brought you up on the weird shit they apparently found in the graveyard they went to the other night.
No, I'm not particularly interested in weird
So-
things, but what?
So apparently there was some sort of rip in the veil between us and where the fucking Oblivion is.
Donovan's eyes are glazing over. Like,
They found a corpse. We did some homework on what it could be, and it might lead back to some weird Giovanni things.
Clan Hecata.
Yes. And
Okay.
so I believe with your mouse and relations with some of the other clans, maybe see what's going on. Wasn't quite sure. That might be what I was thinking of. It was a
I could,
very weird night. Eli,
sound like it.
I decided to be the babysitter of Eli. We went to the chantry. I made sure he didn't really talk to anybody.
Ugh. God, I hate the chantry.
But we got in, we got out, we were able to find some answers, which is part of why I would love to expedite this library thing.
Understood. Very well. Yeah, we'll make sure that goes through. Thank you for letting me know. So apparently something up with why would we need the book? Okay, very well. Then I'll endeavor to find out.
I'm sure
Who's
there was
there?
more weird things involved, but I know you have no interest in it.
Yeah. If there's a weird thing, just find out whatever the thing is. Then you can tell me the aftermath of it. But I have no
It's
interest.
why it was basically 2-3 sentences.
Not you nods. Great. Well then, yeah. I guess before my meeting with Nash, great storyteller. I guess I'll just ask around, like, hey, who still knows that old fuddy duddy, Professor Bellamy? Like, like who's still hanging around with that guy? Is that guy
Yeah.
still around?
Go ahead and make me a charisma persuasion, and then you could add your status. I was debating politics, but he's no longer important enough for it.
I would like to take half
Yeah.
for five
For
successes.
5 successes. Yeah. Go. Sorry, getting my a list of names here. So, you know of a Wilbert Lamb, who is a Malkavian who used to be old friends with Professor Bellamy. Wilbert is very excitable. Has not done anything to put him above. I would say at this point he would be a status 2 among the Camarilla, but he has not done anything outside of that to cut him from the wide Camarilla cloth that is Chicago. But he is friends with Professor Bellamy, and Lamb informs you that yes, we have a number of guests coming to see Professor Bellamy. Just a couple of old philosophy friends. We used to discuss many major things. It's so good to see you, Mr. Shaw. We don't talk as much.
Absolutely, I think Wilbur. We rarely chat these days. It's been a bit. I would say last time we were in revelry with each other was 92-ish.
Yeah, such an old time. But I'm so happy to hear that I'm surprised that you don't have an invitation to Mr. Bellamy's event. It must be a small thing, but I'd be more
Oh
than happy
yeah,
to.
I mean, I haven't called in on the man in decades. I'm not surprised. I'm sure he just assumes I didn't have any interest as I haven't called in, but I do now. I'm actually wondering, Wilbert, old man, is there anything he's like quite interested in lately? I'm trying to get something that would pique his interest.
Oh, well, the last time I spoke with Bellamy, he wasn't quite his usual uh measured self. He's gotten into some strange things. I mean, I will say most of his studies now currently from the last time we discussed, he was very interested in the philosophies of Lilith. It was ghastly business. I
Lilith?
Yes, just trying to find. I mean, you remember his old research and the followings of Golconda, apparently, that found
Yes.
through teachings of Lilith, and there was one other thing that he'd mentioned previously. I, it's escaped me currently, but I know he's finding
Hmm.
alternative methods. So anything that would come up of teachings and philosophies of Lilith, I know that can be a bit uneasy for our social circles, but
Yeah. Well, luckily, I don't think. I'm actually in Chicago. We don't have a leader of the faith, do we?
you do not.
Yeah. Okay. Thank God. Like then I'll say like, well, we don't have a leader of the faith, so it's not like anyone's gonna come crack
I'm
down on
looking
us.
for us. It's very true.
Um. Interesting, Lilith. All right, and that kind of thing. That's the things he's interested in.
Yes, at least as far as I have been able to understand. He's been. eh, I mean, I'm
And
just
that's
speaking
it's a new interest.
recent, maybe within the past couple of years. And I will be fully honest with you, Mr. Shaw. I I worry for him. Isolation is never good for, well, creatures like us.
I never quite understood why he went into isolation. It's not like anyone was out for him.
No, I was quite surprised myself. I think in the past decade, he's become more irritable, short tempered, which is in complete opposition to who he is, a person, I suppose. That could be a testament to his clan, but I mean, most gangrel that even I know of aren't that short tempered. But it's been a quick turnaround for him. I don't know what it's about. It's not as if though he was banished from court.
No, it's very self-inflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Fascination with Lilith. Well, this does sound like quite a mystery. I hope he does all right. But yeah, I think I might try and find something like that. I don't know if I myself would have the availability to attend, but you recall my business partner, Seraphima.
Yes, of course.
She is a quite keen interest in all things
Mhm.
of these natures, and she was getting on to me about learning more of the. She's been in Chicago so long, yet has yet to interact with the more refined intellectual crowds, and she's been
Mhm.
getting on to me. So I'm trying to find an in for her, and I'm sure with it would be no problem. I mean, she'd fit in with you all quite
None
easily.
whatsoever. You and your companions are just our delight in any social setting. So I can
I
give you
mean, I won't refuse a compliment when given, especially when it's true.
yeah. So I can give you Bellamy's new address of where he's been
Please.
hosting us, and as well for you to pass along to Miss Abbott.
Thank you very much, Wilbert. This will be. I think this will do just the trick. Thank you, very much. And please do not be shy. You know, come round the club. You're always on the list.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Shaw. Ah,
Like evening. All
mm,
right. Yeah. Excellent. Cool. I will send the details to Seraphima.
mm-hmm.
Cool, cool.
There you go. So Lilith stuff and time and place. Awesome. But yeah. But other than that, I'm just very interested in this right now. Donovan's main thoughts are very much preoccupied with this meeting with Nash.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, anything else for the rest of the coterie?
The only thing I would want to do is start poking around about Moira and my sister.
All right.
Because I've got a sneaky suspicion of like some of it, but I would love to not make assumptions because I know better than to do that with Lynette.
All right. So, what avenue are you going to take to investigate your sister and Laura?
I would definitely love to see if I could kind of cox and like rework and like kind of pull information from a couple people in like a less obvious way. About like maybe where exactly the two of them have been, if they've met up before, if like there are things going around, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get like specific information yet. I want some of the juicy groundwork.
Okay. So, I'm going to say the best case to do that is going to be a manipulation subterfuge.
Amazing! Would my impeccable lies assist me?
I will say yes.
Cool. Would my attractiveness also help me?
I'm going to also say yes because you are using your looks to mislead and pull information
Cool.
from this gathered
So
masses.
4, 8, 9, 10. So that would be. And then I also have like a dot of status. I don't think that'll really help me with tipping over anything else.
Not tipping over
It would just
down.
be like 5. So I'm gonna take half. I'm gonna take 5.
Okay. So you're going to have 5 successes. All right. So, in the midst, a lot of it is stuff that you kind of have to like discard because it's places that even with the difference in power between Lynette and Moira, there are places that you know your sister would just never be seen in. And particularly you knowing the kinds of skill sets that she has. So there's a lot of stuff that you have to like pick through and it's just absolutely useless. But there are 1 or 2 bits of information that are incredibly useful to you. One being that you find out where your sister currently has her day sleep. At least one of those locations you found her and Moira being like there. And the second bit of information is that you find that Lynette has been asking pretty openly around the for I forgot his name. 1 second. I'm so sorry.
What the?
I do not have everyone in my NPC list. So hold on, let me get them. LMNOP. Here we go. Okay. Apologies, everyone, while I get the multitude of kindred that live inside Chicago. Okay.
Whip out the Rolodex.
So, yeah. So she has been trying to gain a meeting with Marcel, who you know to be the representative of all the clans that do not have enough representation to have a primogen. They all kind of fall under Marcel's umbrella, and that's what ties in as you were getting this information, you get a messages left for you at the front desk that says, "Heard you were looking around. I'm happy to help." Signed, Thea.
Okay.
And And with that, I will ask one another time. Don't want to cut anyone off. Is there any other investigations, questions that anyone else in the coterie wants to ask?
Not really.
Okay, then. We are going to go on our break for right now, so let everyone can hydrate, get some water, use the restroom, and when we come back, we are going to be hosting Baby Chorus at the Aries with a little bit of machinations mixed in. You know, the best kind
Yeah.
of combo.
Yeah.
So please hydrate yourselves, get some water, refill your or your alcoholic beverage, whichever is your choice, and we'll see you when we come back.